What's up, guys? We are back. Fitness Profit Multiplier, Anthony and Jimmy. There are lies that you have been told. There are lies in the fitness industry. Well, there's a lot of lies. Actually, as of the time of recording this, Liver King got exposed for taking over $11,000 worth of steroids and growth hormone. I think it was just growth hormone, actually. But we're not talking about those kind of lies. We're talking about the lies that fitness coaches tell you in order to get you to sign up for their crap. So we're going to expose all the fitness lies in the industry right here today. Big Jimmy, I'm sure, listen, we've been told all these lies for a while, but what was like the biggest one that kind of stands out to you where you're like, oh man, that one's just blatant stupid?
Well, and I'll get some pushback on this one from other people, but the strategy around emailing your list every day to gain clients, right? Just busy work, right? And then there's some, it's more ambiguous, but there's some mindset stuff that bugs me quite a bit. In terms of lies, like if you want to categorize it that way, where people are like, oh, we have to focus on the owner's mindset and this and that. Well, this personal thing is going on in your life, so that's what's affecting your business. And I'm like, my business actually grew, like, and it's more efficient. Like my revenue coming up or down has more to do with my marketing campaigns than it has anything to do with what's going on in my personal life. Not to say that it doesn't affect the morale of your team and stuff like that, but you know, a lot of times you can kind of separate your business self from personal and just make it happen, right? The biggest CEOs in the world don't have like ironclad mental clarity and it's not like there's no stress in their life. I mean, Bezos and Gates and all these guys all of them like just got divorced, right? So it's like, it's not like there was peace at home all the time and they're focusing on everything else. It's like, that doesn't necessarily mean that your business is going to be good or bad. So,
yeah, we were in a mastermind group together, and Jimmy had to go to the front to like present, and Jimmy was going through some personal issues. Jimmy was going through some personal issues at the time, and the whole talk was talking about his personal issues. And yeah, I think that's where this whole thing stems from, because Jimmy's like, that had nothing to do with anything. and it didn't. You're 100% right, because like you said, CEOs, you know, Bezos, all these other guys, they've all been divorced and they go through crap all the time. It doesn't affect their business like that. So I agree 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get on with the lies, man. So, you know, what did you have in mind? Where do you want to start with this one? Because there's a lot that we could kind of expose.
There is a lot. And the one metric that bothers me the most, right, is, and you know, if this one episode gets big enough that people actually, you know, really pick this up, I'm going to get some flack for this. And some other gurus are going to come back at me and say that, oh, my numbers are wrong, whatever. But everybody touts this 3% attrition rate in their businesses. Oh, I got a 3% attrition rate. Small group training has a 3 to 4% attrition rate. 3%. And as somebody whose gym actually reached 3% legitimately, and this is counting everyone, right? Because we don't do trial memberships at our facility. So everyone's a member right from the beginning. So it's not like if they leave in the first month, they don't get counted, right? Every single person gets counted that stops doing service with us, no matter how long they've been in our business, right? We just reached a 2.5% attrition rate for the month of November, recording this on December 1st, right?
Yeah, we hit that in March.
Right. And when you hit that number, you may be able to hit that number for a month or two or whatever, right? But if you're hitting that number consistently, and that's what you're being told that you can hit consistently, it's a straight up lie. There is no way that that's possible. Because if that was the case, and your business did operate at less than or close to 3% attrition every single month, you wouldn't have a need for Facebook advertising. You just wouldn't. because you should be getting enough website leads and referrals from your referral promotions to hugely cloud over that 3% loss rate. Huge, right? Our Facebook ads perform. Oh, go ahead, Dan.
I just want to jump in there too. And you'd probably have at this point 300 to 500 members.
Right. You would, right? And just for example's sake, this month our Facebook ads did not run very well, right? They weren't converting very well. You know, something's changing, Black Friday, whatever. Our ads didn't do very well this month. And it's an ebb and flow, guys. We're not gonna feed you lines of BS on this podcast. We're gonna tell you that business ebbs and flows. It's not this thing where you can guarantee, 20 members every month from Facebook ads and have a 3% attrition rate every month. It's just not the way it works. It ebbs and flows, but over time it needs to be more. Over time, you need to be doing the things, putting things in place to make it better. But it's not going to be like, we're not going to sell you something that's like grow 20 grand to your gym in 1 month. Like, it's just not the case, right? Unless you're a bigger business and you have a little more bandwidth, but we can talk about that later. But what I'm getting at is, let's just do the math really quickly on this podcast. Let's assume you have 100 members, okay? For easy math, you have 100 members and you have a 3% attrition rate month over month. Every single month, it's 3%, okay? So over the course of the year, you lose 36 of the 100 members that you started with, okay? So if you added no people, you'd be down, right? Yeah, whatever that math is, 63, right? So you'd be down to 63 members, okay? Or 64 members, okay? Do you not think that you would add 36 members in 2 months with referral campaigns and organic website leads? If you're not already doing that, that's a huge problem in your business. So if that's the case, you're adding 30 or so members over that course of time. That's 2 months. So the rest of the year, you already beat your churn in 2 months with 100 members. So you're adding 10 to 15 members a month just from referral campaigns and website traffic for the rest of the year. So 10 months. So you're adding 150 additional members if you're adding 15 a month from those organic sources. 150 additional members.
It's so gaudy when you it's so gaudy when you say those numbers, because it's the truth. You're adding, think about it, guys, adding 150 members to your gym.
Yeah.
That's what that would be.
If you had a 3% attrition rate, this is the math. This is the math. Okay. If you had a 3% attrition rate and you had 100 members to start, you would backfill your churn in 2 months, maybe 3, with organic, no ad spend at all, right? Some months maybe a little bit less, let's say. They may be 8 some months. So let's just say it's 10. If you say it's 10, right? You would be at 200 members in 1 year if you had a 3% attrition rate and you started with 100. That's the math. Are guys doing that? Are guys going from 100 members to 200 members in 1 year? No.
The thing that makes me laugh too is like these people who tout this 3% attrition rate, blah, blah, blah. They've been open for years. So it's like they've been open for 31 years or whatever the numbers are that they've been open.
Right.
Shouldn't you have like 9,000 members at this point? Every person in your area should be at your gym then, if that's the case. And then if that's the case, if your gym is that successful, then why did you move on to other things?
Right. Why did you move on to other things? Why are you not using this model? If this model worked like that, why are you not running this model in every market in the country and owning 100% of it? Right? The math just does not work out. Averages,
and that's the thing. That's the thing that makes me laugh, a lot with the fitness industry. We've talked about this a lot. The sheep with wolves, what's the saying? The wolf with sheep's clothing. That's essentially what it is. It's like these guys want to pull the rug over your head and make you do the napkin math to show you how you're going to get rich.
Right.
And it's just a blatant lie because it doesn't work like that at all. It's not real world. Like, yes, on Excel, it works wonderfully, but that's not the way it works. It's just not.
No,
It's not. And I would love
no.
to know the true number because I'm just actually really curious when these people say that. Like, I've been on all these other websites and a lot of those other big companies too, also, 1% attrition rate, all these random numbers. It's like, well, then why are you closing down? It just doesn't make any sense. And
Yeah.
that's just not the way it works at all. It's just not. And
And
when you do that napkin math, it gets people excited. It gets the
right.
business owner excited. It's like, okay, and it did it for me. We talked about this in the other episodes too. It's like when we're opening up a second facility, it's like, okay, I did the napkin math and I'm like, wow, I'm gonna be a gazillionaire in 3 years. And it's like it doesn't work like that because real life, it does not. It does not. So on average, we've talked about this before. We said a good churn rate is about 5%, as where like
Yeah.
a good churn rate. It's kind of like average, but anything under 10, and usually you're good.
Yeah. Typically, because 10 is what we see across the board, typically, right? We see 10, sometimes we see 15, depending on what your service offering is and what your rates are and how affluent your market is. And there's other factors that you don't have as much control over that are going to influence this rate, right? But how do we improve the rate and how do we get to kind of where we want to go? So we want to give you guys something a little bit valuable on this instead of just calling out gurus. And the best way that we have found to improve the rate, because our churn rate at our facility, just so you guys know, is around 5, right? On average.
Yeah, we average about 7.
Yeah. So, but that's what you can expect when you're running things in a way that's going to give your clients a great service. And the biggest thing that helps, we talked about this on another podcast, the biggest thing that helps with attrition rate is the quality of your staff, right? Being on top of your staff at all times and really making sure you have good quality people. So hire slow, fire fast, right? Is really what it is. You need a rock solid team that when you say jump, they say how high. They're always working to improve their skills. They really care about your members. They care about training people. They're really in the trenches and really want to do well by your system. And until I found that, my business didn't reach the 7 figures that it's at now until I found that rock solid team, because that's really what happened the very beginning of this year. Everything changed when I finally put the team together that was the right fit and this cohesive model of people that are really good workers, right? So it's finding those right people and nurturing those people into being quality rock star coaches. That's really what it comes down to. And it's having regular meetings with them, checking in with them, making sure they know that you care about them personally and care about them professionally, give them opportunities to grow and help them with resources to allow them to be better people and better coaches. So that's what it comes down to. All the stuff like the wall where you put people's name up and that kind of stuff, that stuff's all good. But without the proper staff, that stuff just goes by the wayside. You can have all that stuff in the world that you want, but if people don't like your coaches, you're screwed.
Yeah, very true. Is there any other lie?
That's the biggest lie. That's the biggest lie that just irks me in some sort of way. Because once you run the math and you really look at it, it's like, yes, these people have 9,000 members by year 5 or something like that. It's just insane, right? It's just
well, let's do that. Let's do that napkin math. They like doing the napkin math. We do the napkin math. So at 200 members, at a 3% attrition, that's 6 members a month times 12. They need 72 members.
Yeah.
So that means they need to have they need to sign up. If they're still signing up 10, so they're netting 4 a month, 4 times 12, they'd be at 250 by year 3.
Right.
And then that number would just keep getting smaller and smaller in that case.
Yeah.
If they kept signing up 10.
If they kept signing up 10 and they did no marketing, right? But all these guys that are telling you there's a 3% attrition rate are also selling you their agency service, their follow-up sequence, their Facebook ad platform, like their special way to do Facebook ads that works properly. They're all selling you that as well. And they're selling you the sales system and all this stuff. When in all reality, if you got your attrition rate to 3%, all you would need is an optimized website that like is SEO optimized, and you'd need to run referral campaigns a couple of times a year, and you would blow past any number that you would get from Facebook advertising. So why are they teaching you Facebook advertising as well as having a 3% attrition rate? Maybe because then you grow faster, but there's no way you could manage adding the staff that you need to add if you were adding 200 members in a year, right? It's just not feasible, and it just doesn't make any sense numbers wise. So your attrition rate, a good attrition rate, right? If you can get it to 3%, more power to you. We've gotten it there at times, right? But 5 to 7, make sure you're under 10. If you're 10 or over, there's a problem. But
on average, I would say on average, I would add into that on average, because you're going to have your months where it's higher, it's lower. I mean, you had 1 month where it was astronomical, and then you had like last month where it was nothing. And it's just, it happens like that. It's just ebbs and flows. We talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
That's why you have to know your numbers, guys. And a lot of gym owners don't know their numbers. You have to know your numbers. So this way you can go in and look at it and then make logical decisions based on the numbers that you know. We talk to so many gym owners, and a lot of them, my attrition rate is really low. Well, what is it? And they can't answer the question. They don't know the answer to that question.
Right.
So you have to be able to go in there and look, like, and like I said, certain months you're going to have highs and lows, and you just got to weather the storm. Sometimes things happen, sometimes things don't happen, it's just depending on the way it is. Sometimes people move all at once for whatever reason.
Yeah. And that happens, right? Like you have a couple that moves away, 2 couples that move away in 1 month, right?
I had that last month. That sucked.
Yeah.
I had 2 sisters leave, and then another 2 a family leave at the same time. That's 4 people.
And they just moved to a different city. There's nothing you can do, right? Yeah. So it's like that stuff happens, and that drives your attrition rate up, because that stuff you didn't expect, and that stuff that has nothing to do with your service or anything. So you're going to have a month here and there where your attrition rate climbs up to 8% or 10%, right? It happens, right? You want to get that average down, obviously, but you're not going to have 3% month over month. It's just a pipe dream and a lie, and something to get you to buy into a service that somebody's giving you, because it's an unattainable metric. So you're like, oh, I need to go for that. I need to work with that person because that's an unattainable, that metric. I've never hit that. That's crazy. How are they doing that? They have some secret. When in reality, it's a convoluted numbers thing. Like they're tracking their numbers in a different way than what makes actual sense. And if you want to know the way we track attrition, how many members did you start with at the beginning of the month? How many members put a cancellation in, right? And that's not even taking into account the revenue changes from freezes. That's a whole nother thing. But if you just go attrition, how many members do you start with? Total. How many members put a cancellation in? This doesn't take into account the people that you gain, right? You started with 200, you had 10 cancellation requests come through. Okay, you're at 5%. That's even if you ended the month at 210 people, because you added 20, right? That's attrition. That's what we track. Because
and we always teach you guys too. You always want to be ahead of that number. So if you lost 10, you have to make sure that you're trying to sign up more than that. And then if you really want to grow, the right way to do it is you lost 10, and we're going with that example. You lost 10, 5 freezes. That means you have to sign up at least 15 just to match. So you have to make sure that you're always kind of trying to beat that number. And that's where it gets complicated. And that's where you need to kind of do the things that we teach you. We have if you guys click that link below, we have a referral play that we throw in there that helps to kind of generate that. We're creating one right now for reactivation campaign. So these are things that you can do to kind of shake the trees, so to say, to get these leads to come in when you're behind. But you got to know those numbers, guys. So know your numbers. That is the biggest fitness lie exposed on the business side of it. Other than that, it's just Liver King, which that doesn't matter to us. All right, guys. Anthony and Jimmy, Fitness Profit Multiplier, and we are out.